Hello and welcome to Love and the Planets, and I'm Margaret Gray in Dublin.
And I'm Armand Diaz in New York.
So this, of course, is our new moon week, and this is a very nice new moon in Taurus, in fact, which kind of really is quite different to the energies we've had so far. But it's not the only thing that's happening this week, of course. So quite a mixed week is my sense, that kind of, we start on the Monday and, we've got Mercury in Aries, trining Saturn yet again. And of course, we had this at the end of March, and just something that I've noticed this week, Armand, that we seem to be repeating quite a lot of planetary patterns that were going on towards the end of March. So it might be interesting for viewers to kind of think back what was going on in your life, what was going on in your relationships towards the end of March.
Yeah, it's a bit of a recap time. Venus retrograded. So when planets retrograde, they go forward, they go backwards, they go forward. And when they're aspecting, when they're touching other planets and communicating with them, they wind up doing it a few times. And so, we get a story, we work on it, it revisits, and then, and then we sort of get the end of the story, or we come to some type of a conclusion. And so, yeah, Mercury going back to talk to Saturn is okay. Let's communicate again. Let's revisit the issues. But Mercury's retrograde, so we may not get to the conclusion. I think with relationships, Venus is starting to come forward. She comes forward again into Aries. We sort of get the sense of here we are again. And now is the time when we're sort of working on things. And I think we're kind of going forward now with relationships. We sort of know what's happened. I think this is definitely a much more upbeat and easygoing week than we've had in the past. The past few weeks have been a little bit tougher.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Although it has some moments maybe on Friday, but, before we look at that, just to mention that it's been interesting because there's been so much energy in Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. So, we've had Mercury in Aries and, instead of, usually it's about 3 weeks in Aries, this time it's been 6 weeks in Aries. And of course, Uranus, which is about innovation and also sudden events, has been also in Aries. So, the Mercury has made quite a lot of aspects with that, which is sometimes a little disruptive. There's sudden information, and that's happening on Friday. So just to be aware that Mercury retrograde will be conjunct Uranus yet again. And again, this is one of the things that happened at the end of March. So probably that's not the best day to communicate with a loved one about anything important, just to be aware that things might just suddenly be blurted out. And also just to say that Venus has been in Aries a lot. So, we've had both these planets, Venus was in Aries most of February, part of March, and all of April and May, she's going to be in Aries. So it's quite a lot of that Aries energy. So I think it really seems a time to really for new starts, new beginnings, thinking of what we want in relationships and, beginning to take more action, as you say.
There's Aries is a fire sign. There's a lot of fire in the sky. And it is, I think the part of what we have is there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement, a lot of sense of possibility, and also a little uncertainty. And that uncertainty is kind of good. I think, say Friday when Mercury hits Uranus, it probably not the best time to express your ideas because, it's just maybe a momentary thing. But on the other side of it, it's like there is that, energy, enthusiasm, sudden insights, great ideas. I think, Friday's energy is great if you take it as a playful type of energy. If you, share some ideas and let's do something different. Let's break out of the box a little bit. The moon is going to be in Gemini. It's a kind of lighthearted feel. I think Friday night would be a great night to go out and have some fun. I think that's got a lot of energy. By Saturday night, the moon goes into Cancer. It's maybe a little bit more of a stay in type of feel to it. But I think that Friday, I think a lot of nights this week are actually kind of nice for going out. The new moon energy may be a little bit quiet, but there's some nice stuff out there.
Well, I was going to say the new moon energy is really quite a nice energy. I think that's a little break from the kind of erratic energies we've had so far, because Taurus is kind of really about, it's about sensuality and it's about enjoyment. And of course, one of the rulers of Venus. So it's very Venusian. It's a lovely new moon in that sense of, those Venusian qualities of spending some nice time together, of, maybe nice dinner. It's kind of, as you say, It's a little bit of a private time though, because it's aspecting the North Node in Virgo. So it does feel like maybe Wednesday's a time to be with a loved one, with a partner, maybe have some time together that's kind of peaceful, maybe a massage, something nice.
I think the whole thing for this week with the Taurus New Moon and the time around, even say Monday when the moon is in Aries, which is a fiery time, which might be another time to have a little fun and stuff like that. But in general, appreciate what's in front of you this week. Maybe Friday is going to be a little bit perkier and a little bit more, active, but in general, appreciate what's in front of you. Just having dinner, going through the day, just enjoying what is in front of you. Up here in the northern hemisphere, we've got springtime, which is nice. If you're down south, I don't know if the leaves are turning yet or whatever, but just enjoy what's there. That's a great way to look at this week.
And if you've got planets between about 4 and 7 degrees Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Leo, certainly you're going to feel more in tune with this new moon. So have a look at whether, where they are in your individual chart, how they land in your synastry with your partner. But very importantly, look at where they land in your composite chart, because that's really an area of your relationships that's been affected the most. So where is there likely to be a new start? How can you work with those Taurian energies? And in terms of the rest of the planets, just keep in mind that if you have planets in your chart, in your composite chart, that are anywhere between about 25 and 29 degree of any of the signs, really, that's kind of really the degrees that are being aspected at the moment. So look at your composite chart, see what's going on at those degrees, because if they're active, then you're more likely to feel it in your relationships.
Indeed. So enjoy this week, and we will see you
Yes.
next week.
Great. Thanks, Armand. Bye-bye.